Boom. We are live. Welcome to 2.5 Oyajis. Not very well prepared or set up tonight again, but we are going to get back into having guests on in future weeks.
I got a good idea, by the way.
You have a good idea. Tell me your good idea.
Well, I think we should have a kanji of the week.
I'm all for that.
Just throw it out there. We won't spend too much time on it. Just a few minutes. Why I like it, or why you like it. And
I would prefer a kanji of the week to mnemonic of the week after, or an acronym after of the week, because that one last week that you had was problematic.
What was it? Yeah. Did you look it up?
I did. I spent a long night watching many enjoyable videos, thinking this is terrible.
It is terrible, right?
It is terrible, but it was.
But it's everywhere. You got to see it. It happens everywhere. I mean, it's like it's all over the world. They did the Olympics. They do it everywhere. It's kind of amazing that it spread. I mean, all over the world.
So if we do kanji of the week, how would this work?
Oh, just any kanji that you think is interesting and why, and that's it. Just throw it out there. We can probably link to a picture somewhere. We can link it to there's quite a few dictionaries you can just link to it. And I'm sure a lot of the people who watch this, of course, are interested in Japanese. So
they probably are. They probably are.
They're not interested in politics. A lot of I had someone unsub for me today because of my agenda.
Your agenda.
Well, your agenda. As he left me six links to his agenda, which I guess is okay.
Well, if it's his agenda, then I think it's probably okay. If it's your agenda, no, you shouldn't.
I keep thinking I almost want Trump to win because it would be so much fun for the next 4 years. I mean, every day would be fun. Every day would be interesting. And
yes, but here's the other thing. I think people are forgetting. So this has gone on for 16?
By the way, there's a but to what I was going to say, but go ahead.
It's gone on for 16 months, right? And it ends up taking 18 months, the entire election process. So it's not 4 years. This is all going to start again in 2.5 years' time.
Well, they usually wait a little bit later when the president doesn't have to leave. The sitting president is always the incumbent. Is always harder to dethrone.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Bush for 8 years, Clinton 8 years, Bush 8 years, Obama 8 years.
True.
It's kind of almost a tradition.
So the but was so much fun, but it would be so much fun.
But I was thinking about that. But it isn't like a business where if I let you take over, my school and it goes under, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it would be upsetting. But if Trump just actually managed to destroy America, that's a little bit more than.
It is slightly bigger than your school, although, I mean, at the same time. See, here's the thing, for me, this anti-intellectualism trend, this trend of trying to appeal to the stupidest people by talking like a stupid person, and this anti-intellectual thing. I mean, W kind of refined this, and the most successful candidates have been candidates that have gone down that road, further and further down that road. And
I even thought his nickname was stupid. Like, really? That's your nickname, W? I mean, really?
But the thing is, you have to think back now and think that for his many shortcomings, I mean, he seemed very eloquent and reasonable and coherent compared to what we've had to listen to for this, right? And what comes next, I mean, scares me.
You haven't tweeted this out yet, have you?
Sorry?
You haven't tweeted this out yet, have you?
Oh, I have. And I tweeted with you in it.
All right, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, what was the last sentence there?
So I just said that, if there's a trend from going from W. Bush to this, and it's a trend of whoever appeals to the stupider people more wins, where are they going to be going in 30 months from now when we start this again? It's going to be more like a reality TV show. It's going to be more stupid. Adam Sandler, he'd be on the Democrat ticket.
Yeah,
and who would be the Republican? I imagine it would have to be a former pro wrestler of some sort. So it's gonna be just nuts. But yes. But anyway, I don't know. I really am over this debate. Wasn't even interesting this time. I didn't watch more than 10 minutes.
I watched part of it. What was really interesting? Did you see the I think it's called Alfred E. Smith speech?
No, what was that?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's a New York Catholic fundraiser every year.
I read about it. I saw bits of it.
What?
So I saw bits of it, yeah.
So they roast each other in a they're supposed to be good humored way.
Kanye 2020. People are already talking about this. Actually, Kanye West going for president in 2020. That makes sense.
Possibly would.
He really could.
At the rate we're going, if that's the next step.
First Lady Kardashian. It makes sense. The scary thing is that it might actually happen now.
Well,
sorry. So the speech that Alfred.
Oh yeah. So they're supposed to roast each other, and they did a pretty good job. They were funny on both sides, but again, I don't know if it's because I'm Trumpist or something. But I thought he went a little bit too far. And he just got. I felt like his jokes were just not like unfinished. Like, oh, she's really corrupt.
Yeah.
There's no punchline. No, it's supposed to be a joke. She made a lot of fun of him, and she made fun of herself.
Yeah.
And but of course, they didn't write their jokes, so it doesn't. I just think Clinton's joke writers were a little bit better than his. So.
I get the same feeling. So yes. So I'm happy to not even go near the whole Trump thing. How was your week been? What's been up?
Pretty busy. I actually had a week off from my business classes this week, and every month or so I have a week off. So I had nothing to do in the morning, but I don't know. I got nothing done. I feel I took the kid to nursery school every day, and my wife's back went out. So
yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kept busy at school. Got new students, but they're filling up spaces, so I don't have any free time to do a video. It's pretty frustrating.
Well, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think what's been going on with Japanese news. Well, I
got some stuff for you. I got something kind of good. Two things were interesting.
I did a live show last night with Michelle Kopp. We got some people in a live studio. You remember Rob Miller, who we're getting on November 5? Mm-hmm. We went to his place and recorded a great show last night. It was like nearly 2 hours long, questions and answers on doing business in Japan. So that was really cool. I'm going to edit.
We're going to have him on live on November 4th, right?
Is it November 4th? Yeah. We're going to do a show with him on starting businesses in Japan. But last night I did a Japan Business Time that went really well.
I'm sorry, who was on last night?
Rochelle Kopp, the person who I do the Japan Business Time with.
I know her, and Rob?
No, Rob was the owner of the place that we used to record it because you can't do that sort of thing in the space. So it was like a studio. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Good space. And we had a few people. We had Tia from photographer.
She's great. She was there?
Yeah, Amanda was there. Emily Louise Maitland was there.
Which Amanda?
Sorry?
Which Amanda? Amanda Parks?
Yum Yum Sesame.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Who else? Lara from who's often in the comments. Lara Muzio was there. And there's one guy who's not YouTube related, but it was good. It was a really good conversation, actually.
You were out late on a what was that? Friday night.
Well, until 9:30. Yeah, it was.
No.
It's a big night. That's a big night out for me.
You know what? I went yesterday. This was kind of weird, but it will interest some people, but bore most people. I got a friend, one of my Patreon supporters, who we became good friends quite a few months ago. He's come to visit like 3 times now, and he's a car fanatic, and he knows everything about Japanese cars.
Yeah,
and the market. And he's owned this. He's only 30 years old, and he has owned over 85 cars in his life.
Sorry, I got disconnected. 1 minute. So, connected now.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah,
and he's an engineer on a boat, on a ship, on a yacht.
Yeah.
He takes care of the engine, right? And he has owned, despite the fact that he lives on a boat, on a ship, right? Like a pirate. He's owned, I think, 85 cars.
85, wow.
In his life. He buys them, fixes them up, sells them. Buys them, fixes them up, drives them for a while, and sells them. Anyway, he knew about this place called Up Garage. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
No, I haven't either. So we've both been here over 20 years, or a long time. And we've never heard of it. So it's a used car parts store.
Yeah.
And if you're building your own car, repairing your car, whatever, you go there and you get stuff really cheap, whatever. And the same, the things in the States go for 3 times, 4 times as much for people who are into Japanese cars.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to go there and see.
The
completely different world, right?
What cars did you see?
Car fanatics. What?
Did you see any good cars?
It wasn't cars, it was car parts.
Only the parts. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of boring. But across the street, they had a used car dealership. But I don't know anything about cars. I've never really been into cars. But it was it was interesting to see such a world where they sell like a whole section of just radios and TVs.
Yeah.
Different TVs set into the back of cars and car seats.
Like Japan has a comment there. What's the latest J-Vlogger drama? It always cracks him up. Ryan Boundless isn't in Japan anymore, so there's no comedy channel for us to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. What's the latest J? Well, there was something last week that was kind of an empty J-Vlog thing. Just someone made a lie.
Someone made up, tried to construct some drama.
Yeah. I don't know. You remember 32 Sammy 33?
Yeah, I remember.
She doesn't make videos anymore. I think she's on her third kid maybe now. So that.
Yeah.
But she once did a video where she just talked about how she felt about other video makers. Do you remember that?
Pardon me. I don't know that one. No, she did a couple of videos that got a lot of attention, like racism in Japan and so on. I don't remember one talk like that.
She did one where she just basically slagged off everybody. It was kind of funny, but I thought I'd like to do that kind of video, just an honest, like, this is what I think about everyone.
The floor is yours, sir. Please.
No, it's just.
Let's do your. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, I've got it. Why don't we do a comedy roast? And we have to name the person that the other person has to roast. How about that?
Why don't we roast them without saying the name, and then you guess what we're talking about?
I think that's. So okay, so I have to guess. So you're going to roast somebody.
How about imitation? That'd be easy.
Imitations are kind of easy. Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm
not sure how well I could do that.
Many years ago, a good friend of mine who does video reviews did a review about a channel that imitated other channels, did impersonations, and he pointed out that doing impersonations of other YouTubers is like the bottom of the bucket because they're not even famous. It's like imitating your cousin. Like, who cares? I'm going to imitate my cousin now. So it's kind of silly. I mean, I could easily say, yo, yo, yo. And then, I'm.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
Sam, right? That's all I got to do.
It's pretty sad that we can do that, but yes.
It's Sam, I mean, for example. But at least, I mean, that's a good thing for him that we could recognize him so quickly. But I'm going to sue you.
I'm going to sue you. Donald Trump. I don't.
No, that'd be a YouTuber.
Oh, I know who that is. No. And that's why we shouldn't go there. No, I think that's a very bad idea, actually.
Yeah, see, it's a bad idea. Yeah. Okay. So, many years ago, Sammy talked about people that she just didn't like.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. I think she took it down. I'm like, celebrity? No. I think it's gone.
There is a thing there as well. A lot of people, who, especially more so now, people have more common sense. But particularly like when she was making videos, it wasn't really established like what the etiquette was around video making and whether it's really a good idea or not to complain about your job or to complain about people. People had a lot of trouble drawing the line between private conversations and YouTube conversations, not realizing that they had to differentiate or that it was prudent to sometimes. And a lot of people got into a lot of shit over that. You see it less now. I think people are smarter, but yeah.
It's the thing is, I think a lot of people don't have a sense of humor. So
that is another thing. And the other thing is
somebody and they take it personally no matter what. So even if you're like people take this so personally when this is for me it's just a funny T-shirt. But people honestly think that I got the comment that I'm shitting on half of my subscribers. Wearing this T-shirt means I'm shitting on people. Like really, it's just a T-shirt. Like I don't understand why people take it so. L Hall, Victor, Hiko, do you guys know about Rachel's nose job?
I didn't realize that her nose had a separate job to the rest of her. Maybe she's got
a job. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, if I could earn a separate stream of income from my nose.
She should open up a new channel for her nose.
I mean, seriously, they could use it for medical research because of my hay fever at the moment. I could probably, I could use my nose for medical science. I could call that my nose job.
I think you got a pretty good nose, Hiko, now to come and think of it.
That's not a great nose.
No, it's a pretty good nose. It's a pretty neutral nose. It's not curved. It's not too curvy.
It's fairly straight. It is kind of big.
I bet you don't get called a Jew very often.
Well, that's a funny one because...
oh, no, I'm sorry. Everyone on the internet is a Jew.
Well, that's okay.
To somebody.
Yeah. No, I've never been called that on the internet, no. But yes.
Mm. Light in Japan, I did not get upset because of that. That's a mistake. I don't get upset if I'm not included in a list. I'm beyond that. I think people putting their impressions on me when they say if I were, I'd be upset. So he must be upset. Like
I do remember there are times in the past where you've called me.
I hate it when people fucking tell me how I feel. That's what pisses me off.
Oh,
I don't fucking feel that way. Fuck off. Yeah. I like Light Japan though. He's pretty good. He wants to be entertained though.
Well, I know. And
these videos. He's like, you guys suck. You guys make some more entertaining videos.
He's searching out buttons. I do recall times in the past though where you've called me up and you've said, "There's that list of top J vloggers," and of course, I don't care about it. But they didn't. It's not that they didn't have me, but they didn't have other people as well. So I think that list is obviously worthless.
I don't remember that.
I remember having.
I know who it was. It was Mira's little bitch. I forgot the guy's name, but.
Well, there we go. So but this is it. I mean, it was obviously a problematic list anyway.
No, the reason he took me off his list was Victor does too much drama, but he had Unrested on there.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm going to say it.
I think he had Mira on there too, and then come on, the drama, and Rachel on there too, and everyone is guilty of drama. I'm not the only one.
And I'm going to put this one out there as well. I no question. I think. You've complained to me about the pussifying effect that I've had on you over time, but I think you probably are a little bit more careful.
Yeah, I feel like I got to be a little bit more gentlemanly in your...
Yeah, that's right. We've got standards. We're a classy joint here. This is the thing. We have to be...
I scared him away. He's not commenting. Light Japan, come back.
No. But you know what? If anyone's going to ask me right now, who is the king? I'm sorry. I was like, this is taking your crown. Everyone always, by default, considers you the king of Japan drama.
No, that's not my. That's no.
Well, I'm
the king of morons, not the king of Japan drama.
I know, but it's one of those labels that's gone around about you that you haven't put out.
Is there someone else? Let me get. Can I guess?
Well, no. So this is the thing. I'm gonna declare right now. There is a king of drama in Japan. It ain't you anymore. I think.
Never been me.
I think there have been times where it arguably was you in the past, but
I just like commenting on it, but. But people take that as me creating it.
If you're talking drama, you're doing drama. That's the line a lot of people don't get. They think that I'm just commenting on it, but you're participating.
I've been called the TMZ of drama.
Well, there you go. Which is
fine.
Which is and that's okay. And I've got no problem with that. I think if you do it well, it's okay.
So who's hold on? Can I guess?
Yeah, sure. I think you know. I'll be.
Oh, it's Mira.
No.
Really?
I mean,
so it's a lot of bullshit drama out of nothing.
Well, she does. So she's a provocateur of drama, but I don't consider.
She's Kanye West of drama. She's the Kanye West of YouTube.
Yeah, she instigates. I consider king of drama to be someone who talks a lot about drama, who gets involved where it's not called for.
Oh, I know. Phoenix.
No.
No,
because honestly, I mean, Phoenix has opinions about it or drama, but
he has opinions about everything, and they're always right.
Would you call him the king of the Japan community?
Well, actually, I wouldn't. More like the gesture because he's not big enough yet.
Yeah, so I'm going to declare, and this is I'm going to declare.
Okay, please declare.
One of the last few big dramas that have been out there, Unrested has made really passionate commentary videos about them.
No, he's not going to like that.
And I've found them very compelling, and he's done them because he feels compelled to express a view about these things.
He was really dumb about the Mira thing.
Well, that's one example. It's just like, man, why do you have to talk about that?
No, I like the guy a lot. He knows that, and I told him that. So
I respect the guy a lot as well. I really do. And the thing is, I don't care about this. I actually think I'm entertained. I like it when people pick up and talk about these. If you do it well, that's okay. I don't know. I mean, I do a show with you. I don't care about people who talk about drama at all. But I would say that he does that now more proactively than you do.
Oh, I don't do it much anymore. Well, I find it boring.
Yeah.
I found it a bit boring then. Well,
Yeah.
I did a drama thing response to him, and people consider that drama, but
Well, there you go. Yeah, and when you do it, everyone says it's drama. But honestly, that wasn't a case where it was gossip. It was gossip.
hmm.
So you know that's.
It was gossip. No, well,
But he does it
no.
well. He does it well as well. Although,
Whenever I do it though, I'm trying to talk about something that I think we can learn from.
hmm.
And I'll give you an example. Did you know Ken Cannon is back?
Yes, I saw. I saw you posting about that. Guilty confession. I don't know anything about Ken Cannon.
Okay, well, he used to be a pretty popular J-vlogger, and he had a very successful language learning site years ago, and a lot of people paid him a lot of money, and he just disappeared off the map
Okay.
and didn't fulfill his obligations with a lot of his customers. And because I'd been promoting him and I had links in my descriptions, a lot of people asked me, well, no one blamed me, but I did feel guilty, like, because I'd been promoting him. You know, he's back. And I did a video, and I thought it was he apologized, and he's trying to, you know, right his wrongs, etc. And I thought, you know, that's great.
Yeah.
So I did a video talking about that. Some people might say that's wrong, but I said no, it's something we can learn from. I mean, this is the way you should. And I talked about the fact that many people these days, like Clinton and Trump, they rarely apologize for their mistakes. They deny them completely, or they double down on them.
Well, that's the culture as well, and that's a very American thing as well. To you know, unfailingly assert. Yeah, to never admit you're wrong.
That it's a very American thing. But most of my viewers are Americans.
Yeah, yeah.
Or Northern European intellectuals. I don't know why.
Right. The Nobel Prize Committee and Americans, pretty much. They make up most of our viewers.
No, seriously, if you look at my stats, you're like, I don't know. And on my Patreon, some of my best Patreon supporters are Northern Europeans.
The Northern European intellectuals are.
Yes, it's pretty strange. And I've met them. They're very nice people.
Hey, if they could give a prize to Bob Dylan, anything is possible next year.
What do you think about that, Bob Dylan getting that?
I don't give a shit. I just think it's hilarious that Murakami gets.
My older students were outraged. They should make a different category for music. But I'm like, no, it's fine.
I just am starting to enjoy that. As a Peanuts fan, I do love the Charlie Brown trying to kick the football meme, and I think of it every time I hear the build-up for Haruki Murakami and whether he's going to win the Literature Prize this year.
Explain that, because I think a lot of people don't know that about Japan. It's a running joke in Japan.
It's gotten a bit out of control. So
that's one reason they were angry. They're like, when's Murakami going to...
Well, that's it. So it's basically like supporting a sports team at this point. Murakami's, of course, this great novelist and so on. This writer who through his English and the translations of his books is still considered to be one of the best writers in the world. And for multiple years, like 5 times now, he's been in the list of nominees for the Nobel Prize for Literature. And, and Japan loves these international recognition prizes. They love UNESCO. They love Nobel. They go crazy for it.
World Heritage Site. It's a World Heritage Site. The whole world recognizes this place.
Yeah. So whenever there's people who are nominated for the Nobel thing, get top billing on the news. They have countdowns in the middle of the night. People have parties every year, to in the build-up for are they going to win or not. So there have been a lot of Murakami parties, people waiting for this novelist to get a Nobel Prize for writing. And they've had the same outcome every year in the news coverage and everything. So it's starting to get to a point where, he's been nominated again. Are we going to do another party again? And there's teachers that are coming down a little bit each year, but he got nominated again this year. And he lost, of course, to Bob Dylan, which they
haven't even been able to contact yet.
No, and I've got no objective problem at all with the result. I mean, fine. It's they give the prize to Kanye West for all that I care. But
that would upset me. Like, what the fuck?
Actually,
Obama's fake interview with Colbert.
No.
So he's doing a job interview. Colbert's like, "Well, you're going to be out of a job soon. You better practice your job interview skills."
Yeah.
So he breaks into the White House and interviews him.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, do you have any have you any prizes or anything like that?" And he says, "Well, I have 50 honorable doctorates or degrees."
Yeah.
Oh, and he goes, and I won the Nobel Peace Prize. And Colbert's like, "Oh, really? What was that for?" He goes, "To be honest, I still don't know."
That's actually true.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, so I could give a shit, but it was kind of.
I thought it was funny or interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the reasons was he gave a voice to a whole generation, and I thought that's
people who were mostly on drugs and not really understanding. I mean, yes, he did,
Well, the 1960s, a lot happened then.
Yes,
It was an interesting time. It was a very interesting time.
So I hear. I don't know. I mean,
you were born in what, 1976?
5.
75. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was 67.
67. Oh, you're alive. Can you remember the 60s?
No, but
A lot of people say that.
I just wanted to tell you something interesting about Japan. That an older friend of mine here who's in Nagoya, he was brought up in Japan, and he was alive and young enough to remember when Kennedy was shot. I think it was 1963 or 64. Yeah. I forget. I should know. I think it's 1963. But anyway, why do I keep getting? Oh, Michael Gilliam. Okay, hey Michael, shut up. I'm talking here. Don't interrupt me. Okay, so when Kennedy was shot, it was such a big deal that the Japanese policemen, and there were, and most importantly, there were so few Americans in Nagoya at the time, that when Kennedy was shot, the Japanese policemen came to his house, like 3 of them, and knocked on the door, and said, "We're really sorry to inform you that your president has been shot."
So I've got a question. Is there going to be a similar service for done like that when Trump wins the election?
That's good. I'm really sorry that Trump has just been elected.
We're very sorry. We have counseling services. You know, we're behind the American people in this dark hour. I mean, seriously. Wow, but I had no. Wow, and that must have been like middle of the night or something here.
Stormtrooper, actually, at that time, no. At that time, she was much smaller, but whatever. But she is immense now. She's doing very well, and all hats off to her.
Yeah,
she is the Kanye West of J-blogging. Everyone's talking about her, so that's fine. That must mean she's quality. Okay. Yeah, but that's interesting that the Japanese policemen would actually knock on your door to tell you something like that. It just shows kind of a consideration that I never imagined existed. I couldn't even imagine. It's almost like a joke, right? Like,
really? Yeah. I mean, it's nice actually. I mean, it's a day gone by, as they say. It's an age no longer with us, so that would happen. But that is cool. Here's the thing. So everyone talks about from that generation, those people who are older, our parents,
older than we are. Yes.
Yeah, you know, our parents' generation talk about where they were when Kennedy was shot, where they were when the moon landing happened, all that sort of stuff.
Well, for us, it's 9/11.
Well,
so I don't know. Maybe not. You're not American, so maybe not.
Well, so let me finish the thought. Since you came to Japan, which includes that, what are the things that happened that you know exactly where you were when they happened, that stand out in the time since you came to Japan?
I remember the first time I was
America, or are they things in Japan?
First time I had sex with my girlfriend.
You only had one girlfriend?
I remember where I was, exactly.
Oh, you mean your first?
My first girlfriend, yes.
So you lost your virginity in Japan?
No, I lost it in a hot tub in Florida.
A hot tub in Florida. So you have to, let me reiterate the parameters of this discussion.
In Japan. Okay.
I'm talking about memorable events that happened when you knew exactly what you were since you came to Japan.
So long, it kind of just blacked out the next 5 years. That's all I remember for 5 years. Okay, in Japan, of course, my birthday is 9/11. And I was at a huge birthday party. Really, it was a really big birthday party, like 60 people, and we were all taking over this whole restaurant when I got the calls that the buildings were falling, and I remember that. And we spent the whole night drinking more and more, and unable to get drunk as we watched television.
It's not really drinking material. I mean, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. Like, that's kind of freaky stuff, isn't it?
No, we had to go to a bar that had a television at the time that was showing live broadcasts. So we went to a bar that we know that had CNN, because we didn't. Well, I was at a restaurant then, so I basically left my own birthday party.
Like in Japan, what did the police almost catch you twice for in Japan? Because this corresponds to when you were talking about losing your virginity, but I'm sure that couldn't have happened twice.
Maybe he was losing his virginity.
Maybe twice.
Yeah, it couldn't happen.
Unless it was a miss. I don't know. Well, again, we're going too far down the road of speculation. Yeah, that would really suck for a birthday party.
Yeah, so I remember 9/11, that whole night. I remember almost everything that happened that night. I mean, there were fights. There was a Korean girl in the group saying, "You guys deserved it." And a very angry American man trying to destroy her.
not all Korean people, but some Korean people have a thing for being overly direct sometimes, and I think it's cultural. And yeah, the problem is I could totally imagine that. I was on that day. I was at a gym in Sasazuka in Western Tokyo, and I had just finished working out, and I had a shower, and I was going up through the reception. My friend from my work, who was also at the gym.
It was nighttime, so you were working out at about 8 p.m.
It was early evening, so no, it was actually it would have been.
It must have been 6, maybe 6.
You go there after work, so I probably worked out until about 8. And it was just when it was starting, and when I came out, I was going to my bike, and a guy said, "Dude, check out the TV. There's a TV in sort of the entrance." And he said, an airplane just crashed into a building in New York, and that was still the very first point where only one of the towers was hit, and everyone thought it might be an accident or it might be what's going on. And I got on my bicycle to I watched it for about 5 minutes there, and it's like, what the hell is going on? I sort of raced home on my bicycle to watch it at home, and then
Where were you? Who were you living with then? Were you with
I was on my own. I was living on my own. And I pretty much just stayed up all night watching it, obviously. But yeah, I remember that. But
all the foreigners got together. Like every foreigner, not every, but a lot of the foreigners just went to a certain bar that we all knew that would be playing it. We all gathered there. My brother, me, a bunch of other people, of course.
Okay, I didn't do that. Although that said, I didn't really know any foreigners, I think, at that time. So that was, what year was that again? That was 2001.
Right, yeah.
So you know what? That's right. That was during my first job in Japan. I didn't know any foreigners at all, actually. So yeah, that's right. I just
That's
moved
a great way to learn Japanese. And I see people coming over here and hanging out with foreigners completely on Facebook, and I'm like, dude, get some Japanese friends and learn Japanese.
I love Oyajis. I visited an old coworker in Japan, in Korea a few years ago. This is touching on the point I said that they can be a bit overly direct. And when she saw me, all she said was, "Oh, I see you've stopped your diet." That's an extremely typical situation, which again, so long as you understand it's the culture, it's you can kind of manage it, but yes, it can get a bit much sometimes. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I didn't know about that. I didn't aggregate that, but come think of it, well, so for me, maybe the first thing I remember was I just arrived in Japan in 1999. And yeah, for me, was sitting in Japan watching the New Zealand rugby team losing the Rugby World Cup semi-final to France in Wales, and like one of the worst games ever.
I remember where I was when that happened. I was sleeping.
Yes, that's where probably most people were.
Or maybe taking a shit. I don't know. I have no idea.
That game caused the New Zealand economy to collapse and the government to lose an election 2 months later.
Are you serious?
Joke. No joke. You can look it up. Talk about the economic effect of the Rugby World Cup on New Zealand. It put me into depression. I actually broke up with my fiancée a month after that.
Now you're kidding. Now you're kidding.
No, the timing correlates, and I was actually depressed.
A rugby game, losing a rugby game cost you to break up with your girlfriend?
It wasn't that direct, but I was kind of depressed at the time that she left. And I became more depressed. I broke up with
your girlfriend because I found out she didn't like Clint Eastwood. That's a bad.
Well,
that's worse.
I get that. Yeah.
I was her Tom.
You were her Tom?
TOM. You don't
get that. What's a TOM?
I was her 10 orgasm man. So she was pretty devastated.
I still don't understand that exactly.
She was devastated.
I thought you were like a Tom Selleck or something. You were like a Magnum.
She had to date another Tom, but it was two orgasm man. So.
She had to downgrade. What can you do?
I'm just playing around, but well, that's amazing though. So Light in Japan says someone hit his wife, and he tried to attack the guy, and he got in trouble for it. Is that true?
Wow. Well, yeah. So
if someone hit my wife, I think. Well, actually, I got in a fight at our YouTube party because some guy was grabbing my wife. Remember?
Yes,
that?
That's right. You did. There's someone did bite your wife, and you got in a fight, and everyone totally backed you actually, and there were no police, so it was good.
Yeah, but we became friends afterwards. That guy was scary. He would have destroyed me. He was huge.
He was a big guy. Yeah. I remember that.
I would have had to knock him out on the first punch. It would have been over.
Yeah, you would have had to make that one count.
I don't think that would have happened because we were both pretty drunk. So, so he said someone hit his wife, and he I guess hit that guy, and then he got.
He gets in trouble. Well,
he got in trouble.
If you're doing it in public, and I understand that Light is in Kyushu, that he's in a low density foreigner zone. So yeah.
I was just thinking about that today because I've got a few videos of me and stories of me.
You're thinking about the specific thing today.
Yeah, it's exactly today, because I haven't seen it recently.
Okay.
So, and I thought Japan, maybe it's getting better, because I haven't seen a guy. Someone did hit my wife. That's what you wrote, like Japan. You said if someone hits your wife. So I imagine you're. So I haven't seen men hitting women in public at all for years now.
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone in Tokyo hit a woman?
No, I never see it. I've seen it out in the suburbs.
I've seen it 3 or 4 times in Nagoya.
I know, and I've seen you record incidents of it and get directly involved. But I haven't. You know what I'm thinking? When I used to live in Kashiro or Hachioji, or sort of the outer suburbs, you'd sometimes see some domestic stuff in public, but never in central Tokyo. Don't see anything. You know.
I haven't seen it in Nagoya either. So either Nagoya is becoming more sophisticated, or people are not hitting their wives in public so much.
If Nagoya was becoming less sophisticated, they should be calling in the National Guard.
I said more sophisticated, not less sophisticated.
Well, that's what I mean. It can only be getting more sophisticated. If it was becoming less sophisticated, they'd have to call in the military to take over the city.
Did you read the article about Nagoya being the most boring place in?
Yeah, I don't think that's true at all, actually, because from what I hear, it's very exciting, just not in good ways.
Oh, really? Wow.
You hear about the worst driving in Japan, and is it true?
Yeah, we do have the worst
drivers.
Yeah. Well, the Aichi prefecture has the worst drivers, next to Hokkaido.
Right. And Hokkaido, I get, right?
I understand that too.
Yeah, Hokkaido, of course, you want to drive like crazy. It's like you've got Mad Max country all of a sudden. You've got all these wide open roads, and you want to do that. But in Aichi, Aichi is, of course, where they make all the Toyotas. That's the thing. That's Toyota land.
Right.
So big car culture, but apparently, it's like traffic lights are optional.
They're
from what I understand.
Drivers. They're really bad.
Yeah.
I'll confess on camera to something, hypothetically, that I may have done years ago.
Okay, does it involve, hopefully not sexual?
So I was in a car driving alone home from I don't know where, but it was pretty late. It was like 1 a.m. or something. I wasn't drunk or anything like that. I was crossing a bridge, coming back home to Nagoya.
Yeah.
And for some reason, some weird woman drove up next to me, yelled something at me.
Yeah.
Like something rude. I don't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was racist. But she yelled. She was pretty like huffy. Yeah. And then she got right in front of me and stopped at the red light.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we were at an intersection.
Right. You didn't shunt her car. You didn't push the car.
I thought it would be really cool if I may have, I don't remember, but I may have pushed her into the intersection.
Oh, I've had that done once to me by someone that I knew.
Uh-huh. It's terrifying, isn't it?
It's terrifying. And I reacted in a way I've never reacted like in my entire life.
Really?
Because I knew the guy, and the guy I was so angry, and I was so looking for a way to hurt the guy. When I unloaded on the guy, I was about 16 years old. In New Zealand, you can drive from 15.
15? Wow, younger than America. America's 16, I think.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the state, I think.
Yeah. I think it's 16 everywhere. Well, maybe not. Go ahead.
I think the worst and most unforgivable things I've ever said to someone in my whole life, I said to this guy, and I to this day feel guilty about it, actually.
But he almost killed you.
Well, that's what I figured justified it. But I was looking for words. I use racist terminology, which the one time in my whole life I've deliberately done it. And I actually...
Was there a hot mic on you at the time?
No, there wasn't. So I could still run for president. But
I was talking to Mully today about that. I was like, if our whole lives had been hot mic, neither of us would be eligible for president.
So I could think of all the different ways as well. I mean, who would seriously? But getting shunted into traffic at an intersection is not fun, and that's something where I was too much of a wuss to be violent, so I went and just tried to be as violent verbally as I was, and I completely lost control. The only time in my whole life.
But you didn't hit him.
Sorry?
You didn't hit him.
I didn't. I tell you what, I've never, like I say, I gave this guy the most obscene spray I've ever given anyone in my whole life, actually.
But that was it. You didn't hit him. So the American probably would have shot him, or...
It was in school the next day. And it was at school the next day that I came back, and I caught up with him, and I grabbed him, and I just started basically screaming in his face.
Have you ever heard about the Canadian Octagon?
The Canadian Octagon? No.
Yes. 2 men enter, 1 man apologizes. That's pretty good, right? That's from Stephen Colbert.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
But that applies to Japan too. The Japanese Octagon too. Except Japanese are really into fighting, so.
Yeah.
wouldn't really make sense.
But you know what? I've heard people say this. By the way, some Americans. I wondered if Americans. You know what a spray is?
No.
Australians say it.
I know what a slash is.
Yeah, a slash is different. A slash is
taking a pee. Take a slash.
Taking a pee. Giving someone a spray is basically getting right up in their face and just screaming and verbally abusing them to the point that you can feel the spray of talking.
Who said sprays? Theodore Sharp? You know that expression?
No, he doesn't. He's asking. He doesn't know what that is.
Oh.
He's saying a spray, and I just realized. So when I said I gave the guy a spray, I'm just realizing maybe Americans don't get that.
No, we don't.
It means I verbally abused him loudly.
His head off or reaming him out, or
no, I verbally abused him at very close distance. Sometimes, like in sports, when people, like when they're outraged at something and they go, like in baseball, if they go up to the umpire and they start screaming in the umpire's face, we would call that giving the umpire a spray.
Okay.
So that's what I did with this guy. Once we're butter warrior, that's right, only once. And to tell you the truth, I felt guilty my entire life about it.
Once we're butter warrior?
Don't go there.
I know the movie Once We Were Warriors, but I don't know the Once We're Butter Warrior.
I do get it. One of my trigger points is talking about butter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I remember that. Okay. I didn't get the connection there.
Yeah.
That was a great movie, by the way. Once
It's a
We're
good movie, but it's not easy to watch.
So that's the same guy that is now in one of the Walking Dead spin-offs.
Oh, a lot of the guys in the director of that movie and a lot of the cast of that movie have been in a lot of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, that's the same guy I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Well, so the main guy, Timur Morrison,
He plays a Mexican now.
Basically all of the Maoris from that movie have made steady income playing Mexicans.
But you can't trust Mexicans to play Mexicans. You got to get a New Zealander.
So this was a whole thing in the second series of Flight of the Conchords. They did a parody of that where they said, the New Zealand consulate wanted to set up a Maori display and say, hey, can you play a Maori in the display? And it's like, no, I don't want anyone marking my cultural heritage. That's okay. We'll just find some Mexicans to do it.
Which is the opposite, right?
That's right.
I did that at that time. But that was one of my favorite shows. That's one of the few shows that my wife and I would watch together and look forward to every week.
I'm glad to hear that.
And then they canceled it. Oh, it was so sad. And the last episode sucked. Going back.
Vero-chan, it's not spitting. It's actually screaming, like being completely livid abuse and screaming abuse in someone's face, but basically like right up in their face so that they can kind of feel your breath. It's not actually spraying. It's not like spitting on someone. It's actually just being...
I don't think that means giving someone lip. Giving someone lip, it means talking back to them.
Yeah, lip is just being kind of, mean or whatever.
Like Japan, Hiko works for a secret government agency that is bent on taking over the world and destroying our local national governments. So I could be one universal government.
I could tell you what it is, but then we'd have to basically hunt each person who watched this video down, and it wouldn't work out. It'd be very difficult because of the internet. So no, I can't disclose.
I work at an English school, and I also teach business classes, and I outsource myself through my school and things like that.
Yeah,
translation sometimes. So I do a few other things.
But after, let's come back post 9/11. I mean, 9/11 was a big one, obviously.
Of course, the earthquake.
Where were you when you first?
I was in my building on the 10th floor of at my school, and the earthquake happened, and I grabbed my dog because the whole building started shaking. Right, we felt it even in
Nagoya. You felt it.
Oh, we felt it was pretty strong. So everyone evacuated the building. So I grabbed the dog. Maggie was alive then. I grabbed the dog and ran. And even now, Yukari, my coworker, is like, "You didn't give a shit about me. All you cared about was that dog." I'm like, "Well, you would have saved the dog too, right? I mean, you got a choice, right?"
Yeah.
So grabbed the dog, went outside, and we all kind of laughed like, "Oh, that was scary." Well, and we had no idea what was happening yet.
How big was the shake in Nagoya? Was it 3 or 4 or what? I mean, if you took the dog out of the building, it must have been 4.
The whole building just really shaking so strongly that I honestly thought it was hitting Nagoya. I had no idea it could have happened so far away.
A 3 is a normal tremor, but a 4 is kind of scary enough that you might leave a building. And 5, you evacuate. In Tokyo.
We had did you feel the Tochigi one yesterday? Was it yesterday? 2 days ago?
It wasn't Tochigi, it was Tottori.
I'm sorry, Tottori. Yes. Someplace.
And no, you don't feel that.
We felt it here.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But you didn't feel it like, but isn't it closer to you?
No, it's closer to you. It's near Hiroshima.
That's why I was looking up Tochigi on the map. That's why I must have just, that's why it's stuck in my head.
See, this is, so for those of you who don't know, Tottori is the North Dakota of Japan. It's a place everyone's heard of, but can't exactly locate.
That's why I was surprised that nobody was commenting on this. I misheard it was Tochigi, or I just remembered it. Oh yes, okay, yeah, it's much closer to me.
And even Japanese people get it mixed up with Shimane Prefecture, which is just like Tottori but slightly more interesting. Tottori was famous until last year. They were the only prefecture in Japan that didn't have a single Starbucks, and they didn't have like a McDonald's. They were like the last prefecture to get a McDonald's as well. And it was actually like a lot of Tottori people were kind of sad when they got the Starbucks because they couldn't say it anymore. So yeah. It is a bit of an out-of-the-way place, but it's near Hiroshima on the Japan Sea coast, and they had a very big earthquake the other day.
Right, it's on the opposite side of the Okayama, which is much more famous.
Yeah, it's a bit like in New Zealand we get quakes as much as Japan, but it's just that New Zealand is so sparsely populated that it's mostly sheep get sprained ankles and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And Tottori is a bit like that. It's like there were some towns that were seriously damaged, but
right,
yeah, it just wasn't.
Well, we felt it. It rocked the building a little bit, and it rocked for about 10. It swayed for about 10 seconds.
So you were but on the big quake. So you were teaching a class, or what were you doing?
No, I was in between classes. I think I just finished one, and then it hit. I want to say it was 3:10 p.m. I don't know if that's right. Is that right?
Yeah, it was 2:46, but
okay. Okay, so.
So did you go back to teaching after that, or?
Yeah, we had no idea what had happened.
Okay,
we went outside. I took the dog outside. Everyone in the building had a backyard of the building. We were all standing outside looking up and waiting like, well, it's going to happen. Is it going to happen again? Is it going to be another one? You just wait to see what happens, and nothing happened, so we went back inside.
So you didn't turn on the TV or anything to find out what it was?
Well, we checked the internet, and we started seeing what was happening. And then later we were like, oh my God, this is really big. I had no idea. I think I made a video right away joking around, not knowing what had happened yet.
Yeah.
It was just it's kind of fun, I'd have to look it up, but
yeah, no, it was a really big quake, and I was in the office working in Marunouchi, and I was on. What was I on? I was on like the 30th floor, the 29th floor of a building, and huge shake, and pretty much everyone had to walk home after that. All the trains in Tokyo were stopped.
Right, yeah, I remember 11 Colors posting about having to walk home.
Yeah, I posted a few videos while I was walking home on that day. Actually, that is still up. But that was crazy. And the thing was, we were, 600 kilometers away from where it was felt the strongest. I mean, it was actually way up in Sendo, way up near Aomori, that it was actually strongest. And all the drama in the days after that. So there was obviously that.
Right.
Are there any other events that have happened in Japan like that are memorable, other than the quake?
When Becky was banned from her channel, that was pretty shocking.
When Becky was banned from her channel, you mean
television?
Like, television, yeah. Where were you? What was you were eating?
I have no idea. I just thought that would be funny. But you know what is sad? I bet you there are people who remember where they were when Kanye West attacked Taylor Swift on stage or something like that.
Yeah,
the people who remember things like that.
When Kim Kardashian was robbed of all that very expensive jewelry and had to fill out that massive insurance claim.
I saw headlines saying things like, "You shouldn't make fun of her," and I'm like, dude, she just lost. She had a $5 million ring stolen. If you've got that kind of money, I don't know.
No. She had a $5 million insurance claim, and everything else I think is up for debate. But do
you think there was a conspiracy here?
I don't care enough to look into it. Other than I don't believe anything I read about her or them. I think it's all false.
I know so little about her.
I know that her dad was the guy who defended and got O.J. Simpson off, right?
I don't even know that, really.
Well, yeah, that's how she first became sort of a celebrity. It was around the father.
I thought it was connected. She was connected to the guy who got the sex change from the.
There was all that as well, but that
Bruce
wasn't.
Jenner. I thought she was connected to Bruce Jenner.
She is, but her father originally, she's been her family.
I'm glad I'm ignorant about this.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that either. I'm just trying to think, has there been any other real remarkable events in Japan as big as a quake? Well, I guess it's been those two really since I've been.
Those are the big ones.
When I was a kid, I remember the Challenger disaster, 1987.
Yes. 1986? Was it?
It could have been 86. I think it was 87. Might have been 86. I think it was 86. Yeah, I remember
I
coming.
was just sitting in my dorm room watching it with everybody when it happened, and we were all like, "What?" We couldn't believe it.
No, I was, I remember coming home from school and my mum telling me and turning on the TV. At that time, my live stream was I wanted to become an astronaut. I wanted to go to join NASA. So that was like...
Right, so you must have been, I was about 17 or 18. I must have been 18. So you must have been 10 years old.
Yeah. So yeah, no, and that for me that was huge as well. I mean, I remember the instant. I remember there was someone over at the house my mum was talking to, and they were talking about that terrible thing. I'm like, whoa! I was what you talking about, Willis, which was also reflective of the time period. And then I went and turned on the TV, and yeah, we had 2 channels, and one of the channels had it on. Yeah.
And one of them was about rugby, right?
No, well, yeah, one had cartoons and one had British documentaries. And I found the British documentary channel had the NASA news. But yeah.
Oh, what about the Berlin Wall? I remember it, but I don't remember what I was doing.
I remember all that going on. That was 1989. That was my first year of high school.
I got something for you that you will be shocked. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember what I was doing when. Well, you'll just be shocked that I remember this because it happened so long ago. When Ford was inaugurated or signed, what do you call it? I guess sworn in as president.
Yeah.
My mother was vacuuming, and we had a red black and white television. It was a small thing about this big.
Yeah.
And she was vacuuming, and I was playing or something. I was making noise, and she said, "Be quiet, Victor, be quiet." And she turned off the vacuum, and she stood there, and she goes, "This is important." She said, "This is the new president of America." And she probably said in Spanish, but I remember it in English.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Ford becoming sworn in, not knowing who the fuck or why. Well, I'm like, what happened? Why was he's president now? Yeah, and the old president was a bad president, so we got a new president. Oh, and I just remember watching it.
That's cool.
On television. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I remember that, but it's probably because my mother told me to shut up.
Legitimate point, Mr. Koricek pointing out when we heard that Steve Irwin died.
Oh no, I don't remember, but I remember being very sad for that guy.
I remember that going around at work a lot, actually. Yeah, and some people mistakenly calling him Crocodile Dundee. No, although he's a real life sort of version of that, I guess.
He's the real
deal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
89 was first year of high school. No,
but wait a minute. When did you get to Japan?
I graduated in 85. I graduated high school in 85.
When did you arrive in Japan?
91.
So you were here during the sarin attacks, right?
I remember.
Registered?
Yeah, of course.
So that must have been something that sticks out where you were.
It was. You know what? It was more of a mysterious, like, what is happening? No one really, no one knew. It's terrorism.
Do people maybe people here don't know? So 89 was my first year of high school. Under the old New Zealand system, which has also changed. So for people who don't know, I mean, so you described you were actually here for that.
Your first year of high school is 89?
Yeah.
Wow. I was here in 91, and I remember the sarin text, but I remember being, you know what I remember mostly about that? Is that everyone was sick of it being on TV after a few months. Because it was like everything was about the sarin text.
What was it? I mean, so again, for the people who don't know about it, what was it?
Okay, so in Tokyo, some mysterious gases were released, and a lot of people started falling down, and nobody knew what was happening. And basically, this cult's called Om Shinrikyo, led by what's his real? I remember his real name is Chisato or something. But
yeah.
But what was his fake name?
Yeah, Shoko Asahara.
Shoko Asahara, right? Shoko Asahara, the leader, a blind, dirty-looking hippie, basically instigated this, and he coordinated this sarin attack, this gas attack on terrorist attack on Tokyo, and quite a.
Be specific there as well. So you said a bunch of people fell down. To be specific, 12 people died, and
like 90 people or so were.
5,000 people were made sick by it. 50 were like severely injured, like lost their sight or whatever. 12 people died and 5,000 people were severely injured.
Was it that many? Wow. I remember it as being a couple hundred. But.
And also specifically what it was an attack on the Nagatacho, on the Kasumigaseki train station. Mm-hmm. Kasumigaseki is the, Nagatacho is the train station where Parliament is. It's like where Congress is in America. If you think of Washington. Mm-hmm. Kasumigaseki is the main train station for the bureaucratic district.
Right.
So it's where all the bureaucrats who actually run Japan.
They didn't die. 12 people died, and 5,000 people got really sick.
Yeah.
Or had to be treated, at least.
Yeah, something like 50 got seriously sick and 5,000 needed treatment.
And that's why, and good karma is right. That's why you can't find a garbage can in Tokyo anymore.
No, that's actually different. I can also tell you about that one. That was more. That happened during my time.
The sarin.
No, that's not because they didn't use garbage cans for that. There are 3 trains that come into Kasumigaseki Station, and this basically this Armageddon cult that wanted to, like ISIS, they wanted to trigger the end of the world. And, they wanted to trigger a war between Japan and America. They actually timed it so that the 3 trains that were coming into Kasumigaseki Station at the same time, everybody poked these bags with the sort of nerve gas in them, so it would leak on these trains at the same time as it was pulling into that station. So the idea was they were trying to carry out a mass extermination of all the bureaucrats in Japan's national government.
Wow.
And it wasn't quite as, again, some people say like a drop of sarin could kill 100 people. It didn't quite work out like that because of the delivery method, but it was an attempt to destroy the Japanese government. I mean, basically it was an attempt to overthrow the Japanese government, in effect. And what they were saying, they predicted that the attack would happen and it would be America's fault. So the idea of the cult was they were predicting a war of Armageddon between America and Japan, that they tried to stage themselves and make happen to the point of killing 12 people, and injuring 5,000 people on the subways that I use every day, and that most people in Tokyo use. It was an insane incident. And yeah, it wasn't maybe obvious. The thing with why there are no rubbish cans, that happened in 1999. There was a guy who put a bunch of homemade sort of small pipe bombs, or what they call them, cherry sort of toilet bombs, in garbage cans all over the city, but particularly he put them in lockers in train stations and in rubbish bins in train stations. Right. And it became a security measure after that they took them away in reaction to a specific guy who they caught. But then something else happened after that. When they took away all of these public rubbish bins in reaction to the hysteria caused by this one guy in 1999, they found out that people, if there's a big public rubbish bin and it becomes full, people would still throw their rubbish, like they put it beside the rubbish bin or around the rubbish bin, and it would become really messy in the areas around the rubbish bin. Right. They found when they took the rubbish bins away, nobody would throw their rubbish anywhere. They would actually keep it and go home, and they actually discovered that there was less rubbish to collect, and it was actually made the areas cleaner by not having the rubbish bins than having them. And so the government decided after that for the outside bins that they actually deliberately took away all the rubbish bins outside in Tokyo. In train stations, they still have them. But yeah, they really cut them back because of this maniac who went around bombing a few of them. And no one got seriously injured by it.
I want to say that in Nagoya, the garbage cans disappeared after the sarin attacks.
Okay. Well,
but maybe not. I don't know.
In Tokyo, it became a big subject. It was during Ishihara's time, and they talked about it was just an interesting human psychological experiment, at least for Japanese people. I don't know if this would work everywhere else. That they actually discovered it counterintuitively that it resulted in more cleanliness when you took the rubbish bins away, and it became a deliberate policy, which annoyed a lot of people.
But now you do have garbage cans in Tokyo.
You have them, but there are much less than they used to be, and that's on purpose.
Yeah. For me, when I go to Tokyo, I'm surprised I can find them at all.
Yeah, well, usually
because in Nagoya there are none. They're nowhere.
Well, it's the idea, and the mentality is if you have rubbish, if you eat a sandwich and you got the wrap for the sandwich, you put it in your bag. You keep a plastic bag or use a shopping bag, and you take it home and you throw it out at home. Which in a way, I mean, it's good. It means that people are being responsible. But yeah, so I do remember all these things that are happening, and they impact on our lives here today. We are past midnight. We've gone for over an hour.
I got a class tomorrow morning early, so.
Yeah, I've got to coach a rugby team early in the morning.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
next week is Halloween, so it probably won't be live. Probably be out.
Next week is Halloween?
You want to go down there and broadcast?
Oh, well, we do, yeah. Well, wait a minute. So, wait. Next week is the 29th. Okay, so it will be, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll probably be out.
Well, that might be fun to do what you did last time, actually, if you want to do that. Do the
actually, that might be okay.
Well, anyway, something to consider.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, and we are going to be getting from November 5th. Look out for it. We're going to get Rob from the starting your own business in Japan guy. We're going to get him back on for a show, so I look forward to that. And yeah, see you again soon.
Someone says, "Oh, that's it." We'll be back next week. Yeah, the show's only about an hour, but thanks a lot for watching.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. So see you guys later.
Not a promise, but check. All right.
Okay.
Good night. Good night, Higo.
See ya.